Stop it right now.
Oh my. Oh my.
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show.
What's up, everybody? Miss Melion.
What up, Cherie?
We're waiting for Mr. J Love. He'll be in just a moment.
He's in the restroom. Happy
Everybody,
Monday.
Yes, happy Monday, everybody. James will be right with us, but you are tuning into the Revolution Radio Show 102.3.
Ooh, Cherie, how was your weekend?
It was amazing, actually. It went by way too fast. I'm back to the workflow, so life is busier than ever. What about you?
Did you do anything crazy, special?
No, it knocked me off my feet. I'm getting back to routine after all this COVID. My goodness. What about you?
I had a pretty eventful weekend. I had this the rally, Stand for Asians rally, and
I saw that.
Yeah, it was great. It was great turnout. There were actually news stations, like local news stations that came out. Fox, I think KTLA came out, and then I headed straight to a nonprofit to DJ. So it was like boom, boom, like right back to back. So it was fun.
I saw that. I loved it. I was right there with you with your outfit, the neon.
Too.
Oh, he's back, you guys. He's back.
Jay, what's up?
Welcome back, Mr. J Love.
I love technology. It's amazing.
Oh, we told the people you were in the restroom. I thought you were.
Them old folks.
Well, them old folks. Real quick, my bladder ain't what it used to be.
We'll forgive you. Know what I'm saying? Okay.
Hey, did y'all ladies have a good weekend, by the way?
Yeah, we already caught up on our weekend. You got to tell us about yours.
Great. How was your weekend, Jay?
Oh,
that's how it was.
Everybody trying to, had a good weekend. All
right. So for y'all to know, Jay's doing sign language right now. So
I just want to give a quick shout out and prayers and some love to the state of Texas.
Yes.
So look, here's what we're gonna do. Can anyone hear me? Or I'm just talking to myself?
It's like every other word, James. It's like every other word. So we heard you giving a shout out to Texas, and then you just went out a little bit.
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fix my technical situation. We have a special guest in this, today. Cherie, maybe you can introduce our special guest while I get myself situated.
Yes, we'd like to welcome to the show, to this radio show, Mr. Van Swan. There. Did I get him? Hey!
Hey, welcome. Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I would like to know first is, tell us about yourself. Who is Van Swan, and what would you say is his vibe? What's your vibe?
Woo! Who is Van Swan? So I am an independent artist, inspirational artist. I've been singing as far back as I can remember. I think my mom told me that I was singing actually before I was actually speaking. Yeah, crazy, right? I'm from San Bernardino, born and raised, which is for those who might not be familiar with San Bernardino, it's about an hour outside of LA.
The Dino.
The Dino 909.
Hey, I still got my 909. I'm holding on tight to that.
Listen, hold on to it. You know what I mean? But yeah, music is definitely something that I'm into. Like I mentioned before, artist just recently released some really cool music that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, so that's what I am. Music artist, mentor, just someone who loves to give back and be of service of any capacity that is, whether it's mentoring, whether it's music or whatever way that I can do so. That's what I'm all about. But what is my vibe? My vibe? Oh, musically.
You know, that's the word everybody's using right now. I need to know your vibe.
All right, what's your vibe? What you on?
I feel your vibe. I feel your vibe. Yeah.
I know, I already feel it too. I like your vibe. But how would you describe your vibe?
You know what? My vibe is real chill. I'm a real chill person, especially off the stage. I'm really shy, really timid, really just like to check my surroundings. On stage, I can become a beast. What I mean by that is like I love to just give my all. I love to just leave it all on the stage. But my
I hear a lot about that. I hear that about a lot of artists, like Kanye. I hear he's like actually really calm and like Kendrick. But then once you get on stage, it's kind of like a whole nother person. It's like that Sasha. Was it Beyonce?
Wow, the Sasha Fierce, right?
Yeah,
like
Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Who's your Sasha Fierce? Real quick.
I ain't got no name, but I'll probably be. What would my name be? Like my alter ego type of vibe.
Like Van Flamingo.
You know what?
Or something.
I'll probably be like Swan or something. Like I don't know.
Swan.
I don't know. Swan. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have an alter ego name. But it's definitely something that I definitely transform, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? From like I said, the reserved, chill person to, whatever the stage calls for.
I love that because I feel like that means you're just really passionate about it, right? Because I feel like when we go to our day-to-day life, we're having to adapt and adjust to our environment. But when you're on stage, it's completely your environment. So that's when the passion can just burst through. So that's how I translate it.
Yeah. And you said you mentor, Van. Where do you mentor? Who do you mentor?
Yeah, so I work for a nonprofit organization. I've been with them for about 3 years now. It's called Young Visionaries. Shout out to Mr. Terrence Stone, who's the founder of the organization. And what we do is pre-COVID, we would definitely go to about 11 plus schools in the Inland Empire and just mentor these students who people like to deem as at-risk kids, the students who need a little bit more assistance, whether that's academics or whether that's socially. There's so many different areas that we help and work with kids, and I'm super excited about it. And just reminding the students that you're not a product of your environment. I come from San Bernardino, and for some people, San Bernardino may not be the nicest area or the most wealthiest area, but to be from San Bernardino and to be able to travel and to go outside of the country and to do different things, it's a reminder that again, you can come from a situation and that not only and come from a situation, but that not only be your story, that you can be whatever you want to be. You can put your mind to it and be whatever you want to be. And that's what the mentoring allows me to do. And I'm super excited about it, very passionate about it, almost as equally as passionate about it as music.
Wow.
I love
how old are the kids?
That's what I was going to ask.
We work with kids all the way from elementary age all the way up to high school going into college. So it's so broad. It's so broad. It's a large spectrum of people that we work with. And it's something, like I said, I'm very passionate about because these kids, they need hope. And especially during this time where quarantine is happening and, they're not able to go to school physically for some, or not be able to get that extra one-on-one time with their teachers, and just the anxiety of being at home, not seeing your friends, not like what is going, it's a lot. So to be able to because now we do everything virtually, obviously, because the schools are closed, but just to be able to give them a different way of escape is something that's really dope and super, super fun. And just recently, just to give you a shout out, we did a talent show. My job. Yeah, we did a virtual talent show. So all of the students, they like hundreds of students submitted videos. We narrowed it down to 10 people, and they showcased their talent. First place got $250. So it was like the best of both worlds.
How awesome!
Music and mentoring. Yeah, so it was dope.
So what made the talent show? Was the talent show all based on music?
Yeah.
Pretty much. We had music, we had rappers, but we had athletes as well. Actually, we had a couple of students actually just showing their hoop skills, and it was all over, but it was super dope and it was super creative. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. Young Visionaries, just type in talent show and you'll find
Young Visionaries. Who was what made the number one? Give them a shout out. Give him a shout
out. Yeah, Lillian Diaz. She's actually 17 years old. She's a singer. She's a singer, and she
Oh.
was killing. You're like 17 to be able to write and to be able to harmonize and to be able to stay on pitch, which are some of the vocal techniques that a lot of people kind of forget. But to be able to have that at such a young age is super dope and super amazing. So yeah, shout out to Lillian Diaz. What up?
Hey, shout out Young Queen.
Yay. Do you have a favorite age that you worked with? I know that you have a passion for children in general, but is there an age that you seem to connect with just a little bit more?
I like high school.
Okay.
I prefer high school. The younger kids are really cool, but I feel like sometimes with the younger kids, it's more of a babysit type deal because they're all over the place. You know, they're a little scatterbrained. The middle school is really cool because they're in that impressionable stage where they're not young, but they're not old enough, so they're kind of cool. But high school, I get to talk to you like I'm talking to any other person, which, you know, and I think that that's really cool. And I think that by the time you get to high school, you kind of know what you want to do. Like, do you want to be that kid who don't want to pay attention, don't want to, or you want to be that person who want to excel and go to college or do different things to further your education or to further your life period. So high school is really cool to be able to talk to them and to interview them. Yeah. So
what's up, Jay?
Yo,
What's up?
this is absolutely insane. But I'm glad that Van is amazing, so I wasn't worried about it. I knew, and y'all are amazing, so I wasn't worried about it.
Oh man, appreciate you.
But go ahead and keep saying what you were saying, man. Don't let me interrupt. You know.
Well,
no, we were just talking about the students. Yeah, the students that he helps out with and everything. I was just talking to a friend that saying that actually around I feel like around the age of 10, between 9 and 11, kids kind of really know what they want to do, like sports or music. Maybe because I was watching the Rap Game with Jermaine Dupri, but a lot of them start at they were saying at 9 or 10 years old, they started rapping and stuff. So you're definitely making an impact in these kids' lives.
Yeah, that is definitely the plan. And that's the goal. And to be completely honest, it was something that I didn't think that I would be passionate about. It was actually something that I was, my friend, he was just like, yo, are you interested in some extra work, some mentoring stuff? And I was like, yeah, cool. But it actually became something that was even changing for me, because you don't realize that these kids that you're mentoring, they also have opportunities to impart wisdom and stuff with you, so there's times that I might come to work, I might not feel like being there, or I might have things going on in my own personal life, but they reassure me that it's cool, you're gonna be all right, Mr. Van, like that's what they call him, and just different stuff like that. So I love it. I really do. I really love it.
Yo, that's dope, man, that you've taken, because a lot of, especially artists, by nature, we tend to be real selfish. Right, because we trying to blow up or do our thing or whatever the case is, and for you to take out in the middle of you trying, like not later on after you done blowed up and sold millions and made, but you know what I mean, in the middle of you actually taking this. That's a big deal, man, because we definitely need a lot more role models just in general, especially men. Just across the, whether it's black or white, any color. I mean, we really need men to step up in society, and so I definitely tip my hat to you, man, because that's a big deal. That anyone who takes out of their time to give to other people, that's a huge blessing, man. So
appreciate you.
Salute on that,
right? And I know all these kids look up to you. So who's somebody you look up to or you would like to work with, like if you had the opportunity?
Yeah, you know what? TLC, ironically, and Janet Jackson were the two biggest influences in my life when it comes to wanting to be an artist. I
love that. Hey, shout out to the females.
It was
right.
I remember watching TLC perform on the MTV Music Awards. It was in 1995. They had Stripes on. They was doing a Crazy Sexy Cool medley. I remember staying up late. I had school the next day, so I snuck and watched this awards, and it was life-changing. It was something that I saw three different individual ladies who had their own style, their own technique. They were different, they were creative, and it wasn't just so much about the vocals, it was just about them being them. And I think as an artist, people buy into people being authentic and being themselves. So for me, it was like, yo, I want to be that and I want to do that. And it was their story. And not only their story, but their hard work and their musical journey that just made me fall in love. And same with Janet Jackson. For most musicians and artists, they would always say like Michael Jackson is definitely at the top of the list, which he's on mine as well. But Janet is my Michael, if that makes any sense. Like Janet is my Michael. She, you know, from I Get So Lonely to Rhythm Nation to so many different other stuff that she's done. It just really inspired me. But as far as somebody I would love to work with, I would love to work with Babyface.
Yeah.
Babyface is a writer who literally is the soundtrack to the 90s, which is my favorite era. You know, there was not
shout out to the 90s.
Shout out to the 90s.
Shout out to the 90s.
Look, you see behind me, I'm all about the 90s, man.
Yeah.
I'm all about the look.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Me too all day. And you can't mention the 90s musically without mentioning Babyface. Something that he wrote, something that he, you know, so if I was to be able to work with somebody, I would definitely want to work with Babyface because he can write me a hit, he can sing. He's super dope and super inspiring. Yeah, so for sure.
That's awesome.
That's dope. Hey, you know what, man? I gotta do this, man, because what people don't know yet, they've so far began to discover how dope you are as an individual. But I've had the privilege to know that you actually got some vocals. You know what I mean? You actually got some vocals. That boy good. That boy can sing. You understand what I'm saying? That boy can sing. So I want to go into your song real quick.
Let's do it.
So is this the first single off the project, or?
Yeah, this is my second single. My first single was a song called King that released last year, right after it was inspired by a lot of the injustice that was going on, you know, with the world, with the, you know, George Floyd and so many other different people that was happening. So the first single was King, but the second single, Just Try, is something that I'm super passionate about. I super love this song. We just released a video to it. I have Brittany and Tony Ingram, who is from The Own Show. I don't know if you heard of Black Love. Yeah, they were on season 2. So they make a cameo in the video. I'm super excited about it. And it's a song just about love and just a reminder people to never give up on love. I know sometimes you can become discouraged when it comes to love, and, you know, especially if you've been hurt, you've been disappointed, you experienced heartbreak. But if you let God be the center and be the healer of all of that, you're going to be all right, whether it's in your relationship or whether it's you individually as a person, you know, because sometimes you need to pray and get some stuff together when it comes to your own self so that you know what to bring to the situation or to the relationship. So basically it's just saying, don't give up on love. You're going to be all right. Let God heal you. Let God restore all of that stuff and bring y'all back together. And that's what it's about. It really is.
Well, look, make sure we get the video. But here's the single, Just Try, from Van Swan on the Revolution Radio Show on 102.3 FM KCAA. You dig?
Heartbreak is the one thing we will all experience. This love thing is necessary. Helps to build our character, so you don't want to love again, 'cause you've been hurt. Let go, let go, let go. Just try, just try. Just try. Oh, just try. Don't you dare give up on love. Oh, yeah. Love is up above. Something really spiritual. It will change your life. It will change your life. Know that you are skeptical. No more. He will heal you and restore. Let go. Just try. Let go and try. Give up on love. Love is up above. Something really spiritual. Will change your life. Oh, yeah. Skeptical. No. He will heal you and restore. Let go and just try. Don't you dare give up on love.
If you're just tuning in, that was the hit single Just Try from Van Swan. You're listening to the Revolution Radio Show on 102.3 FM KCAA in the Inland Empire, worldwide, everywhere else. Woo! Man, bruh, I'm so glad you learned how to do them falsettos from me, man. I'm so glad. You know, I can't right now because I got a little situation.
But you can normally, right? You could totally normally.
You know.
I got it from you 100%.
As long as the world knows, man. As long as they know. Got a question for you, man, because it to me, you're very in addition to the 90s, like reminiscent coming out of that, like the neo soul type vibe and all of that. How do you feel about the state of like R&B or just music in general right now?
You know, I definitely believe has changed over the years, as it does what I believe with each generation. You know what I mean? I'm 100% a 90s kid. I definitely listen to a lot of the older music, even for inspiration. But the state of today's R&B, I think the state of today's R&B is what it is. You know what I mean? I feel like we're going back to the soul. We're going back to real subject matters, you know, not the mumble jumble what's hot. I think that we're slowly going back into that vein. I think, you know, but it's a, you know, it's a season, right. You know what I mean? Everything goes around, everything, you know, but I think that especially with quarantine and especially with people not really having labels,
right?
Having labels is not as important as it once was back in the day. A lot of people are doing things independent now. So with that comes a lot of more freedom when it comes with their artistry. Right. You know, people are now able to be more free. If they want to put out an R&B record tomorrow and to the next day they got something that sounds a little bit different, they can do that because that's the freedom that they had. So if nothing else that I take away from today's R&B or state of music is freedom. You know, is that you have the freedom to, if you want to get on a record and mumble and jumble, you can do that. If you want to get on a record and sing and give some runs, you can do that if you want to, you know what I mean? So I think that that's something that I do appreciate about the state of it now, is the freedom of it. But I definitely miss them good old harmonies, those good in-depth, you know, subject matters, and those that like I said, the 90s vibe brought. And again, shout out to Babyface, because you had a lot to do with all that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Melian, I know you got a question, but let me just ask real quick. So who would you say are some artists right now that you're feeling like today?
Jasmine Sullivan, Brandy. Yeah, Jasmine is a beast. Brandy. Definitely. Who else that I listen to now? I like, let us see. I wish I can look at my phone. I like Lucky Day. I'm
What
trying to think
about
of
her?
her for sure. Her. Janae. Janae is a vibe though. She's definitely
She's a whole
like
vibe.
a whole vibe.
Uh-huh.
You have to be in
I
the
Yeah.
keep
whole
hearing
vibe.
that. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's some of the people that on the R&B side that I listen to.
Any like male artists? Did you?
Male artists. Let me see. I said Lucky Day. I definitely am listening to a lot of Lucky Day right now. Who do I listen to? Kim. I like Kim. You know, have you heard of Kim?
Nah.
Lil
I'm gonna
Kim?
look at.
No. Kem. Kem. Share My Life. You never heard that song? Share My Life. See y'all see y'all don't know.
My bad.
I mean, I will now. I'm gonna go ahead and look it up now. That's
Put
a
us
very judge.
on.
Right.
Yeah, no. But yeah, that's definitely who I'm listening to. And then I listen to a lot of independent artists. Like I said, Avery Wilson. I listen to this guy named Van Swan. I listen to.
I was gonna say the best.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of independent artists, Van Swan, are you? I know you just released your project. Are you planning on going tour or like doing something with the project, traveling in support of your album?
Because of everything that's going on right now, a lot of stuff is virtual. So I do have some plans. I just released a birthday concert. My birthday's on Christmas. So in December, I did a virtual concert, which was super fun. And I want to do another one of those. So just putting out a lot of content as far as virtual performances, working on some more music videos. The plan is to do a video for each song on my album. And I think that what that would allow me to do is to actually create more momentum for the same project as long as I possibly can. So that's the plan. Not so much tour because I don't know what outside is looking like right now, but if I can do some virtual stuff, performances and videos and stuff like that, that's definitely what I'm doing.
How you like the virtual shows? I know we had to all adapt, but how do you like the virtual experience?
I just had a conversation with somebody about this the other day because we were talking about when we shot the concert, there was obviously no audience, So for me, that's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is there are moments where I feed off of the audience, and I want that. But then there's also sometimes a comfortability that happens when there's no one around either, because sometimes when I'm doing virtual stuff, it's just like I'm practicing or I'm in the mirror. And when I'm in the mirror, I don't care who's looking. I'm going to give it my, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's that comfortability that sometimes happen. But then there's sometimes, like, as I mentioned, just having that audience, I miss that too. I definitely miss that as well. So it's a catch-22. It's a blessing sometimes. And sometimes it's like, where the audience at? But then sometimes y'all audience members can be looking at you like you got 3 nipples. And it's like, y'all, you don't like what I got to offer? Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes you have to bypass that too. You know what I mean? And just not pay attention to it. But yeah.
Listen, hold that thought real quick. We got to pay some bills really fast. And speaking of momentum, we want to make sure the show stay on the air. But, we got Van Swan with us live on the Revolution Radio Show right here on 102.3 Kiss FM. We'll be back in just a minute.
Exotics Wellness. From massage oils to bath bombs, from drops to pain bombs, everything you need in exotic CBD wellness. Go to www.queenexotics.com. That's www.queenexotics.com or Queen Exotics on Instagram.
Do you have a business that requires
Exotics Wellness. From massage oils to bath bombs, from drops to pain bombs, everything you need in exotic CBD wellness. Go to www.queenexotics.com. That's www.queenexotics.com or Queen Exotics on Instagram.
Do you have a business that requires heavily upon your clientele base having access to cash, like a dispensary or a barbershop? Or maybe you're in the market for one of the new cutting-edge Bitcoin ATMs or self-serve kiosks. Whatever your ATM needs, reach out to my man Guy, the ATM Guy, at 855-4ATM-GUY. That's 855-4ATM-GUY, or online at www.atmguy.net.
Without even lifting a finger, achieve the body of your dreams. You're perfect the way that you are, but if you've been struggling to tone up and love your body, there's something that can help you get there. Put down the box of chocolates and pick up a wrap. No, not that kind. A wrap that you can wear. That's Gym in a Box. The Core Wrap, the best body shaper anywhere. It features ultimate performance technology, Tone Up 15 to firm tone and strengthen your abs as it shapes your waist. That's Gym in a Box. Go to gyminabox.la to get yours now. That's gyminabox.la because you deserve your dream body.
Man, the age of COVID is interesting, but if you just tuning in, you are listening to the Revolution Radio Show on 102.3 FM KCAA and worldwide everywhere else. And yeah, we got live with us Mr. Van Swan.
Ooh.
Mr.
Yes.
Van, in his building. He's in a building.
In
somewhere.
a building.
In a building. You know what I mean? But man, brother, it's so good. I know, Cherie, you have a question. I just am excited that my technology is working enough for me to actually be on here right now.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Well, I want to know what you're working on next.
Yeah. So I actually have a show on YouTube. It's a podcast. It's actually called Conversation with Van. And what that is a show about purpose. A lot of times, I don't know about, you, but for me in particular, I'm a person who likes to know why people do what it is that they do.
Right.
I'm really interested in not even just that, but people's story in general. When I listen to records and I listen to artists, one of the even like when you think about artists like Mary J. Blige, a lot of people gravitated more towards her sad songs, the moments where she's being really honest and transparent. And I'm equally that type of artist. When I'm doing my music, I'm trying to be as honest and as transparent as possible. So even when it comes to having conversations with people, I don't want to just talk about surface level stuff. I want to talk about the story behind you, why you do what you do. So if you're a musician, if you are a book writer, if you are a host or whatever it is, there's a story behind that. There was a reason why you got to do whatever it is that you're doing. There was a journey, there was a process. But not only that, there's something behind that. Even like, who are you as a person? The essence of who you are. What gives you purpose? What gives you drive? What gives you all the? So the show Conversation with Van is really just getting behind the music, getting behind the not just music, but behind whoever that person is, and talking in depth and getting to know what that story is. And it's an amazing show. It's something that I really, really enjoy because people are getting in there talking about their purpose and telling their story stripped down. I'm talking about anywhere from musicians to preachers to so many different people who are just telling their story. And I think that I love it. And so many people have, and the reason why I love it, again, because I'm really into people being transparent, even when it comes to like and I might be going off script, but just like as it pertains to like a pastor, like if I go to a church, I am so much prone to listen to what this pastor has to say if he gives me glimpse of who he is or who they are. Give me moments of transparent. I know you've been married 25 years, but I'm pretty sure that all 25 wasn't peachy and green. So I want to know, how did you overcome some of the issues in your marriage? I want to know all these different things. If you're talking about let's stay together, well, teach me how. Teach me all these different, and so that's what Conversation with is about. And just, giving people the backstory and letting them know again that if I've overcome XYZ, you can too.
That's dope, man. That's really, really dope. I'm gonna throw you a curveball because I'm gonna start it with you, but it's the question I'm gonna start asking all these artists to come on here. You ready? Yeah. Name your top 5 dead or alive. Put you on the
Woo!
spot. Put you on the spot.
My top 5 dead or
Dead
alive.
or alive.
I'm gonna do male vocals because you kind of played me earlier. Was like, you got all these females. So was that was that?
First of all, that was a compliment.
Yeah,
Was
we're
it
not trying
That
to
was a
play.
compliment.
I thought you were trying.
Yeah,
we
We were feeling
You was feeling
real.
a girl
Yeah.
power.
Yes. Never
Yeah,
a negative.
Okay. No,
But
no,
you can
yeah.
make it
Come
fair.
on,
Go ahead.
no. But I do have
you can mix
I
in
do
some
have some.
females if
I
you
do have
want.
And
some
they don't
male
have to be in
influences.
any particular order. Just top 5.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm definitely a Carl Thomas fan. Like
Okay.
Carl Thomas, Joe, Whitney Houston for sure,
Okay.
Brandy for sure.
You got one more.
Whitney, Brandy, Carl Thomas,
Joe. You said Joe.
Marvin Gaye.
Wow. So no Mike and no Prince.
No Janet Jackson. Top
I
5.
know, right? I didn't even say TLC,
You
but
know what?
I
You guys
but I
don't
feel
judge him on his answers.
No,
No, it's like,
No, now you really just kept going.
he said they were his favorite
I know
earlier, so
it's
I was just
I know,
Let him
but
live his
because
life.
because I kind of already said that. I already put out there that Janet and TLC is like that goes without saying for me. But
You didn't even say Britney Spears.
You know what? First of all, you made it a very safe environment for him, and now you're attacking him. Let's go ahead and calm down. You have your top 5, okay? Ignore them.
I think I definitely, yeah. I enjoy all of those artists, for sure. Marvin Gaye, even now, I listen to his music. He obviously I wasn't around during that time and that era, but just his fashion sense. Even if you look on my page, I wear a lot of beanies and different stuff like that, which is definitely inspired by his fashion sense and
What's your shirt say? I know it says King.
My vocal ability, King of the Jungle.
Ooh, let me see the shirt. He has on a fly shirt right now, listeners.
Oh,
that's
cool.
fly.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, all of those are. Carl Thomas is probably, if not my favorite male vocalist. Period. I think he's super, super dope and super creative. And the other artists as well. Whitney's Whitney. Brandy's Brandy. You know, like it just goes without saying they're super dope and talented too. But yeah, Mike and Janet and all those people too. Of course. You know.
So let me ask you this. I noticed that your style is a very big part of, like, do you feel that as you grow, your style is gonna become as almost okay? You know how like Mike's style became almost as big as his music. Prince, you go on and on, name like certain artists. Do you think that? I feel that it looks like it might be a tendency with you. What do you think?
You know what? I think that fashion and music definitely kind of go hand in hand. We definitely need that visual. When you think about even like the artists that I mentioned with TLC, when they first came out, you remember the cross colors, you remember the condom over the eye, you remember the different stuff. And with Mike, you remember the jacket, you remember the glove. There was always something signature about them, even with Marvin, as I mentioned, with the beanies and just that look and that vibe. So I try really hard with making sure that my visual is on point. Ever since I was a young kid, my mom had always instilled fashion and clothes and making sure that your appearance is what it's supposed to be. So I hope that in the future that people remember me by my fashion and my sense as well. I definitely want to come out with have some t-shirts that I've already put out, but I definitely want to come out with some more fashion stuff and some fashion lines because I definitely believe that it goes hand in hand. Definitely, for sure. So I hope that I'm remembered. Like even when you think about Rihanna, not only do you think about her music, you thinking about like Rihanna can dress, like she has a dope fashion sense and these different people. So yeah, absolutely, I definitely want to be remembered for that as well.
Hey, you play, right? Am I correct? Why did I think that you play?
I wish I did. If my patience were a little bit better. I don't have patience. It takes skills, and patience to be able to learn whatever it is that you're trying to do. But I tried to learn piano at 1.3 seconds and I gave up. It was like
Because I think it takes a
No,
little longer than 3 seconds.
I love it.
so-
Yeah.
Longer.
A little longer.
You definitely have patience if you deal with kids, right? You just gotta
That's
give yourself
true.
a little more credit. You got patience.
That's true. That's true.
Selective patience,
Selective
right?
patience, right? Yeah.
Selective.
Yeah.
Yo,
For sure.
so that they know that it's real. Can you hit us with an acapella real quick? I'm putting all the singers on blast. I'm making all the singers do this. Can you hit us with an acapella so that the audience knows that it's real? It ain't just some studio magic.
Sure. I don't know what to sing. Let me see. This is in my head, so I'm gonna sing this. Why should I feel discouraged?
Hey, come on.
And why should the shadows come? And why should my heart feel lonely as long as heaven's home?
Come
When
on.
Jesus is my portion, a constant friend, ooh, is he.
Bring it home. Come on.
His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
Woo! Ladies and
Wow.
Thank you.
That wasn't no auto tune. That wasn't no studio magic. That was a dude on some earbuds.
Very talented. You're very talented.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank
On
you.
some earbuds. I got a random question for you. If you weren't singing, what would you want to do with your life? What would be the alternate career?
I think I know. I know.
What is it? I want to hear.
Would you be a teacher?
Wow. Close.
Okay.
Actually, very close. Actually, and I'm actually hoping to do this in the near future. I actually want to open up a nonprofit organization, like a performing arts school. So there's like I said, something where people can come who may not have the money, the resources, who can get whether it's vocal lessons, whether it's drum lessons, it's dance lessons, for little to no cost. Hopefully get some funding or some grants and allow people who are in the inner city to be able to just have a place to come and just get some lessons after school for a couple of hours or whatever that is. So if I wasn't doing music, I definitely would probably go even more harder when it comes to opening up that after school program. And eventually it's going to come. It's definitely going to come because it's something that I'm definitely passionate about. And it's something that I wish that I was able to when I was younger after school, to be able to just go get some vocal lessons. I've never had training. I've never had all these different things that I wish that I probably would maybe even perhaps be a little bit further along, whether it's in my career or my gift, had I had those different things. So if I can be able to give back to some of these inner city kids, open up a school or a performing arts center, that is definitely something that I would definitely be doing.
It's actually manifesting. It's manifesting because you're with a young visionary right now. So it's happening. You're seeing the behind the scenes. So it's actually happening.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. I watch Mr. Stone, which is the boss man. I'm watching him all the time just to see, what he's doing and different stuff like that. But one thing I love about even that organization is he allows us room to be creative, to if you want to add a music program, if you want to add a talent show, you can do that. And I think that that's really dope. And it allows me to kind of get my feet wet a little bit, But yeah, if I wasn't doing music, I definitely would be doing that or something with fashion, because I love fashion as well.
You were talking about the big why earlier for your guests on your YouTube channel. What's your big why? I know that answer could be 5 hours or 5 minute long, but within a couple minutes, what's your big why?
I believe that we are all here for service. It makes no sense for God to give his son, as the ultimate sacrifice, for for us, for random people, and for us to not be of service, so I'm always looking on how can I uplift somebody, how can I encourage somebody, how can I inspire somebody, how can I let them know that it's going to be okay, how can I let them know that it's not going to always look like this, it's not going to always feel like this, and you sometimes can be your own worst critic. You meaning myself, and anybody, we get into our heads, we get into our thoughts and thinking that, we're not good enough or we're not this and that, but that's a lie from the hell. You are good enough, you are good, you are great, you're talented, you're destined for greatness. We all are. And sometimes you just need an extra push, extra encouragement, and somebody to remind you. So whether I'm doing that with singing, or whether I'm doing that with mentoring, whether I'm doing that with fashion, my job, my mission, my why is to encourage people and let you know that you can do that. You can make it. You're going to be all right. It's going to be okay. So even when I have moments of discouragement, I feel like, I don't know if I really want to do this today. I don't want to do this song. I don't want to, it's the people who come back and say, yo, because you sang this song, or because you said this, or because you did that, I'm able to go on another day, or I'm able to conquer this situation, or I'm able to think about stuff in a different perspective. So that's my why. That's my reason.
That's why it's important to remember your why.
Yeah.
Exactly. Powerful.
Because you can't get caught up on numbers. You can't get caught up on people, whether they like you or people giving you compliments or certain you can't get caught up. Listen, I had 37,000 followers on Instagram. It was gone just like that. Hacked. I'm literally starting all over from jump. So my why, my reason is ain't nothing stopping me. There's somebody who depends on me. There's somebody who depends on whatever gift that I have, whether that's one person or it's thousands or millions. I got to keep going. So that's my why.
Absolutely. Yeah. You mentioned your podcast. Where else can people find you and get to know you?
Absolutely. Yeah, so my most recent album was called Nothing or Nobody. It's available on all digital platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you can buy your music. You can just type in Nothing or Nobody. It has some really dope songs on there. A song called King, Just Try, More, He's Done Enough. All of these songs that I just mentioned, they all have videos too and visuals too. So if you also want to go to YouTube, and just type in I am Van Swan or Van Swan, you can find me, and you also find Conversation with Van on there. So yeah.
And what about your Instagram? You want to say your Instagram handle?
Instagram, yeah, absolutely. Instagram is The Real Van Swan. The Real Van Swan. Please follow, like, subscribe, say what up to your boy. You know what I mean? I'm definitely looking forward to connecting with you.
Awesome.
Yo, man.
Yep.
You ready for this one? Because as we come into a close, as we come into a close, first of all, you've been a really dope guest, man. I can't wait to have you on the show again. We're gonna talk about, some more of your music, because I know, one song just ain't enough, one album ain't enough. But 5 years, where's Van Swan?
Good.
Prayerfully, and thank you for having me. First off, let me just say that whenever somebody invites you on a show or invite you to do something, they don't have to be nice. They don't have to do so. So I thank all three of you guys for definitely having me on. And I had a good time. Definitely had a good time. 5 and 10 years, hopefully alive. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
That's
real.
Let's just start there. Let's start there. And inspiring and encouraging, hopefully traveling, doing music, my own music, letting people get to hear what I do, and just inspiring and encouraging. So the next 5 years, I definitely want to be traveling more, doing more stuff behind the scenes, maybe not in front of the camera as it pertains to being the artist, but also just doing some stuff behind the scenes, whether that's directing. I'm into, photography as well. So maybe doing this is other avenues. So maybe in the next 5 years, just expanding my brand. That's probably the best way to describe it, just to make sure that my brand is where it's supposed to be.
More important award, Grammy or Soul Train Award?
They still give out Soul Train awards.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm only gonna say the Grammys, only because when I was a kid, I always envisioned having a Grammy. But the Soul Train Awards is really dope because it's from us, know, So I think that I can appreciate, being honored by people who maybe perhaps look like me. But I'm not, my reward is really when people literally say, I love this album, I love this project, or that. I mean, and that might sound cliche, but it really is. Like, I never been really big on I gotta have this award, I have these different things.
The
Those things will
accolades.
come.
Yeah.
I think that those things will come if your heart is in the right place and you're doing what you're supposed to do. I think that all those things will come. If it's for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you kind of answered my next question, but one super giant, ridiculous, like 30 million selling smash hit, like one hit, or a career of just we know you, but just a long career, like
career.
Yeah. That.
Career.
Why, Jay? What would you want, Jay?
Right.
I feel like everybody would want that longevity
No,
career.
some people they want that Gangnam Style. Some people that's what they want. They want that Gangnam Style. They want their Ice Ice Baby. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you could sustain a whole lifetime. Vanilla Ice is still making money off of Ice Ice Baby. So Sir Mix-a-Lot. I'll give you a quick little, music industry trivia. Sir Mix-a-Lot, just off of Baby Got Back, in the last 30 years has made over $100 million.
I could believe that, yeah.
So what do you say, though? Someone that picks the other answer then is more about the money and not about the passion and its longevity. And I'm hearing the complete opposite from Mr. Van Swan. It's about the passion.
Yeah, Van Swan, that's why we need to be fans of Van Swan, because he's trying to just get around and make some good music.
I'm trying to be around. Yeah, for sure. I if I'm honest, I never really wanted to be on the level of like a Michael Jackson and Beyonce. And what I mean by that is they don't have no sense of privacy. So if I can have a longevity career and still be able to go to the mall if I want to, low key, you know what I mean?
Man, you could buy a mall at their level though.
Listen, right? True. Very true. Very true. Low key. But if I can be able to really have a long career and be able to still book shows, still be able to people to, I think that would be really, really dope, and just be able to inspire and expand my brand. That's more important than putting out one record and being able to live off of that forever. To me, because I don't want to be known as that one hit wonder,
Right.
Like I don't want to be that, you know what I mean? Right. At least give me a couple of albums and give me something, you know what I mean? But yeah.
So before we go, we got 2 minutes literally, man. Is there anything you want to leave the people with, that just from your heart with regards to them? Why should they pick up your music and check it out and stream it and just become the #1 Van Swan fan on the planet?
Yeah, I just want to remind people, listen, let nothing or nobody stop you from reaching your maximum potential. You are great. So go out in the world and be great. That's definitely what I want to leave.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
So, Van, we really appreciate you. You are super dope.
We
are so looking forward to being a part of your career. And as you grow, as the show grows, we want to also grow with you, with your music. We're dedicated, just so you know, you got fans here with us. And we definitely, man, want to. So every time you got something, bring it this way. We will definitely show you some love, man. Not only because you're dope as an artist, because you're really dope as an artist, but more importantly, you're dope as a human being.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
very down to earth.
Definitely go check out Van Swan. Go to at the real Van Swan on Instagram. You know what it is. We're about to get out of here. It is the Revolution Radio Show, the #1 new show in the Inland Empire, man. We're about to hit it around the world. On behalf of myself, Jay Love, Miss Melian, and Miss Cherie Marlene, we just want to remind you, reach for your best, reach for success, but most of all, reach for God, because God is love and love is everything. We're going to see you tomorrow, man, and it's still Black History Month, so stay black. And if you ain't black, go hug a black person. And then we're out.
Oh my.